day, but it helps me with my mood, and you know what? It makes my husband happy.
George's Power Pack. Order now and receive free gift Be Slim. Refreshing weight loss tablets. Accelerate, elevate, and be slim. Order now at healthylooking.com or 800-394-9930. Don't forget promo code George for free shipping. That's 800-394-9930 or at healthylooking.com.
Have you ever wondered if we're alone in our vast universe? Think about that. Marvelous Entertainment has released the newest in science fiction that specifically deals with that incredible question. Marvin Sunderland, who's been a guest on the program, is a certified film director, science fiction genius, and he is the author behind the 7-novel masterpiece series, bringing out the best of your imagination, and it's truly remarkable. Journey with the hero of the book, Sergeant Waggett, in search of a crashed alien spaceship, and then he stumbles into an alien invasion, so brace yourself for what's going on there. Sergeant Waggett promises to take your imagination to simply marvelous heights. Get 20% off the entire 7-novel series and all future graphic novels when you enter coupon code Coast to Coast, all lowercase if you would, at marvelous.com. That's marvelous.com. marveleous.com.
At 45 years old, I was in so much physical pain, I was truly dreading getting any older. I had weak bones, achy joints, weight that wouldn't go away, almost no energy, and constant brutal headaches. I was falling apart physically and mentally. I searched desperately for alternatives to the pain management traditional doctors offer. I tried alternative medicines with no positive results. Then I heard Dr. Joel Wallach on Coast to Coast with George Norrie and decided to give his unique recommendation 90 days. It took less than a month to feel results, and I've lost 95 pounds. I'm off all pain medications and pharmaceuticals. Best of all, the pain is gone. I look forward to my future. This is Rebecca Kozak, and if pain has you dreading your future, don't suffer through another day. Visit criticalhealthnews.com. Sign up to receive the newsletter, Dr. Wallach's 10 Bad Foods, and tons of invaluable nutritional
Watch
advice.
out, pothole on road ahead.
949 radio to speak to an experienced nutritional consultant. That's 855-949-7234 and criticalhealthnews.com.
Heaven next hour, so make sure you're part of the program. We're back with Nita Fedda-Ani, and her book, of course, is called The Battle for Your Brain. Nita, in terms of neuromarketing, how will they try to convince people to get this done?
Well, it's a good question. And I will start by saying, traditional advertisement has long been targeted at our brains and mental experiences, right? It's trying to get us to believe things or have associations of products or, think like, a product is going to make you more beautiful or more likely to attract, a partner or, whatever goods they're trying to sell. But most of that is based on what consumers say they like or what consumers say they're likely to do, which turns out not to be particularly accurate. So neuromarketing is when marketers try out their products or their pricing or their advertisements and then try it out by looking at how people's brains respond to it. So this might be people come into their laboratories, neuromarketing groups laboratories, where they put on these brain headsets or brain wearables. They're shown advertisements, and then they look to see, how engaged is the person, what's their emotional response to the advertisement. And when they pair that with things like where are their eyes focused on the advertisement, and what is their heart rate, and all the other information, they get a much more accurate readout of how people actually respond to products and messaging. Did you watch Avatar, by the way?
Oh, I did, the first one.
You watched the first one? See, the first one, James Cameron, at the time, before the movie came out, had made some comment about how he thought that the immersive quality of the cinematography in the world would really engage people, and he thought it would engage their brains. But hey, we could actually test that for you. And so he took them up on their offer, and they tested out the different trailers for Avatar, looking for which ones led to the biggest emotional response or were the most engaging to people. And sure enough,
Interesting for research, isn't it?
yeah, it's interesting for research, and it's interesting for, the effect. Did you find it to be deeply immersive and engaging when you saw the movie? Do you remember?
I'm not sure about the trailer, but it was a great movie.
It was a great movie, and it went on to be a blockbuster, right? It won
absolutely.
some awards. It was one of the biggest blockbusters of all time. Now, is that because of neuromarketing? Probably not, but does the neuromarketing lead to more movie sales and more intrigue? Maybe. It seems like over time that neuromarketing has led to, increased understanding of how people are going to react, or, movie scenes have even been changed based on, like, if they're trying to make it really scary, does a person's brain react by being afraid of the segment that's trying to make scary, and then changing it to make it scarier, or changing it to, try to draw out the kind of emotion that it's trying to draw out. So all of it's based on the idea that our brains reveal more than what we tell people. So if you self-report that you really love something, that's not as accurate as what your brain might reveal. And so neuromarketing is used to try to better understand the brain and
Watch out.
to kind of
Vehicle on
bypass
shoulder
what
ahead.
the conscious response to something would be, and instead base it on how the brain would respond.
Back to final calls. Brendan's with us, Austin, Texas, on one of our wild card lines. Hello, Brendan.
Thank you, George and Professor Nita. It's extremely interesting. This is just incredible. I wanted to say that UC Davis, as well as the federal government, I'm pretty sure are both suing Neuralink right now for burning through test monkeys. I mean, they're just dropping like flies. They definitely would not want to have that inside of my brain. But a chatbot had told me that I was talking to it about ethics, and it told me that the creators of our technologies are the ones that control the ethics. So if the creators are unethical, then the AI and technology is going to be unethical. But we can try to stop that by actions like you are doing, Nita, by raising awareness. So, I mean, it's crazy that the chatbots right now are all warning us about AI. AI right now is not warning us about this. But the problem with corporations making the AI is that the corporations are not ethical, and our regulators are bought out by the corporations through Citizens United on both sides, so they have no obligation or will to their constituents. And a lot of them are so, I mean, I don't want to be rude, but a lot of them are so old and out of touch with technology and reality that we're asking people to regulate something that they don't use or understand. A lot of representatives went to school so long ago that their worldview is severely lacking. They don't understand biology. They don't understand technology. They were out with one teacher that taught them everything on the Little House on the Prairie, and they're supposed to be regulating this stuff. But my question is, do you think that with this new technology, the neurotechnology, that will expose the negative impact on our brain from society? Like you were talking about, everybody's depressed nowadays. And that when we find out why everybody's depressed, that it's going to lead to radical change in society. Hopefully, we'll try to make things better so that people won't be hurt anymore. And John Perkins had called it a death economy, or predatory capitalism, an economy based on the exploitation of Earth, its natural resources, and all its life. So that seems like the economy that we have right now, and that's why we're all sick. And when we find out that, hopefully we'll change it.
Can we change it, Nita?
I mean, all great points. So, backing up, I would say, indeed, I think Neuralink is not in clinical studies yet. And part of the reason they're not in clinical studies is because I don't think that they have successfully proven to the FDA that they can do what they want to do safely in humans. But the question of how technology is impacting our brains, one of the things I write about in the book is some of the features that are being put into technology are being put into technology intentionally to addict us or to bring us back to platforms that habitually use them. That the metric of success for a lot of companies is how long how does it make them feel, or how healthy does it make them, or does it improve their brain health? And there's been a lot of studies that have been done that show that especially our youth on social media or becoming mentally abnormal, self-perception and body image much worse, and causing depression and increasing cyberbullying. I think we have the evidence of how it's affecting brains and mental experiences, and in general, it's not good. So the question is, what are we going to do about it? And do we really need neurotechnology to reveal to us how technology is making our brains worse in some cases rather than better? I don't know. We just need to start acting against it. We need to start, I think, raising the alarm and helping people realize that they can reclaim their brains and mental experiences. They can start to cultivate cognitive liberty to, enable critical thinking and to free them from addiction to technology. So, all good questions, all good points. And I would say the one point about the ethics, which is, the technologists making the ethics. Indeed, a lot of the ethical decision-making is happening in corporations, both in product design, but also in how they're deploying those products. And we need to have it not, have the impacts of technology not be determined solely by the developers of the technology themselves.
Let's go to Jerry on the wild card line in Iowa. Jerry, go ahead, sir.
Good evening. Thank God for good old-fashioned talk radio with the conversation and attention span. This format really does prove that free speech and liberty are alive and well in the USA, despite talk of canceling AM radio. So I appreciate you guys dealing with this topic. I want to ask about this idea of mandatory government intimacy with the brain, I'm calling it. I'm predicting that there'll be mandatory government AI chatbots pre-installed on your phone. I think that'll happen first. But the government obviously likes the idea of invading our thought life. Klaus Schwab at the World Economic Forum said something like, I imagine a world with no privacy and no property ownership, and you like it. And to me, that's creepy and scary, but I was wondering about, do you think if there is a lot of free market AI chatbots, like maybe there could be from different companies. I mean, you don't want the government chatbot, you don't want the NEA chatbot, stuff like that, but there's some you might want, and maybe some of them will have like a brain privacy firewall software of the future or something. So I'm thinking, like, do you think there could be any cat and mouse technologies that could actually help insulate us from threats we don't trust,